Hello, I'm here in Sefton Park in Liverpool, and I'm talking today about um, when you're triggered into a state of anxiety or stress and what to do about that. First of all, understanding what happens and why, and second of all, what to do about it. So I'll start with an example. Someone recently was talking to me about, in fact, this is quite a common example for a lot of people. It's happened to me before, probably happened to you as well at some point. Where persons received negative feedback at work by a boss or a colleague about a piece of work that they've submitted. So this recently happened in a conversation that I was having with someone, and they were telling me about how their boss had uh, said some negative, made some negative comments about some work that they'd recently submitted, and this person felt distressed immediately by this and became quite defensive, wasn't able to engage in an adult to adult conversation, and ended up bursting into tears. And the later felt very embarrassed about that. So we could break that down into its component parts. First of all, there's what we call the trigger event, which is the boss making the comment. On this occasion, what the boss actually said was, I need you to revise that piece of work that you did because there's some bits to it that aren't right. Um, they were the actual words that this person heard the boss say. Immediately, they had a very strong internal sense of contraction. So, what's happened here is that there's a perceived threat, the mind, as we call it. This mind perceives the threat, and actually, my mind's being a bit triggered right now because there's some people around who probably think I'm a bit nuts, but anyway, carry on regardless. So, this mind, this internal radar, it's like a radar, it's constantly scanning the environment, looking for potential threats or hazards. We've all got it. It's built in. Not a lot you can do about that. And anyway, it keeps you alive. It's survival mind. Actually need it. We don't want to get rid of that. But as social animals, we are probably these days unnecessarily triggered by things that we don't need to be. At least not to the degree that we are. So, for example, let's go back to my example with this person I was talking to. So, as soon as she heard those words from her boss, she felt this internal, like a strong contraction and fearful sensations in the body. So, what had happened there was that the stress hormones, cortisol, probably adrenaline, been released into a bloodstream and were preparing her body for the fight or flight response, either fight or run away. Now, when this happens, the prefrontal cortex is shut down, at least partially, and she was catapulted out of her adult power as an adult to adult with her boss, and probably regressed to a much earlier age when she had less power, in fact. And I'm going this way because there's somebody behind me. Um, and was not able to negotiate or discuss things in an adult to adult way, because when you're a child it's hard to do that, especially with adults. You know, there are significant caregivers, teachers, people in positions of power around us, people who can withhold love or and inflict punishment on us when we're kids, it's hard to negotiate that when you're a kid. Anyway, so that's what ends up happening. We go into a fight or flight response, and so the component here that's the most interesting is the mind bit. This is the bit that puts meaning onto the event. So the event was her boss saying that. The reaction in the body and physiologically and behaviorally was that she felt fear, contraction in the body, and burst into tears. So what had happened in between those two was that her mind had put meaning on what her boss had said to her and interpreted it to mean in an instant moment that I'm going to get fired. He's reducing me. He's diminishing me. He's using his power against me. This is just not fair. I'm going to end up jobless. I'll be unemployable. You know, I'm sure you're familiar with that. I certainly am. And it's that catastrophic outcome that the mind predicts that then generates this sense of fear within us. So it's that internal dialogue, you know. I'm powerless. He's got power over me. He's misusing his power over me. He's a dick. I think she said that. He's a dick. Should tell him he's a dick. But then if I tell him he's a dick, then I'll definitely get the sack. So I better. Now this is all going on at a rate of a bolt of lightning, a streak of lightning in real time, you know. And that's why in real time, all this just looks like a bit of a jumble between being triggered by the event and feeling all the very strong and distressing feelings in the body, and the mind just predicting all these terrible outcomes. All of that runs together and it just looks like a big jumbly mess, and we don't know what belongs where. So by breaking it down in this way, we get a cat in hell's chance, if you like, of organizing it, seeing it for what it is, taking a step back from it, getting a different perspective on it, and being able to make choices. Anyway, so this is just my first video on this subject, and if you're interested in pursuing this further, then look out for my next video. If you like and subscribe, that will really help me and the channel to take off. My intention is to share with you the knowledge that I've gathered over the past 35 years working as a qualified therapist, and before that I was trained to deliver self-esteem courses, which I've been doing for 35 years, probably helped thousands of people in that time. So this channel, the intention of this channel is to share that knowledge with you for free. Just give it away, because, you know, why be stingy with the truth? If it can help one person, then this channel or this video has done its job. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Lots of love.